It's intellectually rewarding for me. I've always been an individual who's been into research.
I've always wanted to get my hands and tinker with things, and I use the makerspace for everything from research to personal projects.
I found a love for research, and I feel like a little kid kind of conducting research because it's exciting and you're, looking around. It's like a scavenger hunt.
Research at UNC occurs everywhere, in laboratory environments where we sort of typically think of it occurring, but it also occurs in Carolina dining services. It takes place in music, it takes place in communications, they're in English, they're in physics, they're in political science. The whole spectrum of the university. So I would encourage all students to try to get involved, to speak to their faculty members and speak to their peers to identify ways in which they could get involved with research.
So a bit about the program. It's called SMART. It's a program that is geared towards underrepresented minorities with the idea to expose them to research. This is completely hands-on research. This is not a class about research. They plan, they collect, they design the experiments, they actually do the hands-on experiment, they own the project.
So my project focuses on using a liver module from a mice, and we believe that bioacids through hipposignaling drive a particular gene. And my specific project is to identify if there's a link between the pathway and that particular gene that we're interested in the liver. I come from a small community college where we don't really get this exposure to labs. I really enjoy what I'm doing here. Also, in the summer, you're able to fully devote your time to a research.
The summer is a perfect time to conduct research for undergraduates because it frees them up from the traditional 12 to 15 credit hours of academic work. It allows them to focus on the research project and really dive in to a greater extent than they can in the traditional academic year. And I think it leads to a more fulfilling experience.
So here's a fig tree. Trying to see if there are any figs on it.
This summer, my research project is searching for fruit trees on public land in Chapel Hill and Carrboro to see if they are a viable resource to use to battle food insecurity. The first half of my project was really just going out and finding fruit trees and really just like walking on trails, and that was actually really nice. And also in my research, I've been looking at other places who have been successful in using fruit trees in an urban area, seeing places where this has worked and connecting it to Chapel Hill. It's so exciting to think about and to try to discover. I think this experience has really shown me a love for research and for discovering and for looking. It's so eye-opening. Now I'm seeing so many things that I never paid attention to before, hidden in plain sight. And I can't even imagine what other students in their research are discovering as well. What else is hidden in plain sight that they're now seeing through their research.
Having undergraduate students that are working continuously in the lab and can commit full throttle in the summer can be both productive for the lab as well as for the student. It's a great experience of exploring the difference of what you learn in a classroom and how you learn in a classroom to what does real-world research look like. Do I like research? Is this the kind of research I like? Is this something I might want to do moving forward?
BEAM is our network of makerspaces here on campus. There's 4 all across campus. It's really a wide range of students that are coming in and working on their research projects here at BEAM.
My research project this summer is based around a 3D printed head cap for mice. Similar to an EEG, once implanted, we will be able to read electrical signals in the mice during behavior tests. Because the EEG device is so small, I needed to build a rig to build the EEG device. So I've used the 3D printers in the Murray Hall and the Keenan Science Library to build the rig and build the body frame of the device. I was sort of given this project and this path to work on this, and I knew that we had these resources on campus, so I pitched it to my PI and he loved the idea of using the makerspace.
Many students are hesitant to get involved with research, or they see it as a challenge to get involved, and they wonder how they can navigate that space. But the fact of the matter is, faculty are eager to speak with students about research. It's one of their primary interests. And I highly encourage students to just ask. Search the UNC website. Find individuals who are doing research in the areas that interest you.
So MURAP stands for the More Undergraduate Research Apprenticeship Program. Students really get a 10-week intensive training in research methods, in carrying out an independent research project. What's also unique about MURAP is that we don't only serve underrepresented students, but we serve students who are really committed to diversity and inclusion and social justice.
So my research project is focusing on African Americans and medicine, specifically the Black doctor, and looking at his involvement in the civil rights movement. The fact that I can go into the archives with UNC's library and look at actual books from the National Medical Association, their actual journal from like 1940s, 1930s, all of that is so cool. Just being able to embrace their life is really exciting, and to bring them to life to the present era. That's what I really love about it. And just getting to know other people's stories, doctor stories, nurses, everything in between. And so it's just really interesting. Research isn't just for the sciences. You know, there's research in American studies, there's research in English, there's research in the arts. What are you interested in? What interests you about this subject? And what projects do you think you could tie into your interests? And then once you find things, you have to act on them. And I promise there are so many opportunities at Carolina to pitch your project, and someone will be interested and someone will believe in you.